Welcome back to DBL. We are featuring our favorite 90s stars this week, and joining us today is none other than Clarissa herself, Melissa Joan Hart. But first, let's take a peek back at where it all started.
Mom, don't you realize that if I don't watch TV, I won't be able to keep up with the cultural level of my peers?
Clarissa, you know there is nothing on TV but an endless stream of the same sitcoms, game shows, and commercials.
That's what I mean. Where else can I experience the vast wasteland that we call the 20th century? Where else can I get chewing gum for my eyes? And what about Johnny Depp?
Oh my gosh, I never missed an episode. Melissa Joan Hart, welcome to DBL. Now, Clarissa Darling was hands down, in my opinion, growing up, the coolest teenager in the 90s. And also, I have to say, a very positive role model for young girls at the time. So 30 years later, who would Clarissa be today?
Oh my goodness, that's such a good question. We've been asking that for a little while now, me and the showrunner, and we kind of disagree on where she might be. You know, I'd like to think that she would have a few cool kids that would be taken over for her. She, you know, all of us, we think we're cool, and then we grow up, and then we become moms and dads and grown-ups that are really uncool, at least in our kids' eyes.
Right.
So I think that, you know, at some point you got to acknowledge the fact that it's like you always think the next generation's music isn't as good, or their TV shows aren't as good, or their life isn't as good, or gas is too expensive, or milk is too expensive. So I think at some point she's got to cool out.
So a lot of 90s shows are getting reboots now, Melissa. Is Clarissa on that list for reboots?
You know, it was talked about, of course, because everybody's doing it. We went through some contracts with Nickelodeon and whatnot, but then the CEOs and whatnot, everything switched over at Nickelodeon. So it got lost in the woodwork, and we're not really sure where it is right now, but I don't think so.
No.
Could have got the hot scoop.
Yeah, really, because Melissa, I have to tell you, so you followed me some time back on Twitter, and I had to call my childhood friend who we would talk every night before your show came on to tell her, like, you will never believe this. Like, we were so excited because we just loved you so much. So we have to talk about Sabrina the Teenage Witch, because I know we all faithfully watched it. I know me and my friends did. So let's take a quick look back at Melissa's Sabrina.
No, no, no.
But it's my belly button.
It's our belly button. You can have it back when you turn 18. Don't tell me she still wants to hang keys off her navel.
Okay, very funny. Now remove the bone. Remove the bone! I'm not going to school like this!
Yeah.
So other than random talk,
I don't even remember that episode.
there's got to be so much content that you're like, oh, I did that. No, that's awesome, though. But other than random talk show hosts calling their friends from 20, 30 years back saying something about you, what's the craziest thing that a fan has ever done to get your attention? Because we understand that a fan is facing felony charges for a 1999 rental of Clarissa that she never returned.
It was Sabrina, yeah.
Sabrina.
There's been this viral news story about a woman who rented it from like Blockbuster, I guess, and didn't return it, and didn't know why she was like getting turned down for jobs and whatnot, and finds out she has this charge on her record that she had no idea about. And yeah, so I mean, that's probably the craziest thing. I mean, that's not a fan. She didn't do that on purpose.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of crazy fan things, from, you know, death threats to you know, we've had some, Scotland Yard has had to hunt down some people in the FBI. And well, one time, somebody on the Paramount lot while we were shooting Sabrina dug through my trash and found some of my old underwear, apparently.
Ew.
I never liked to wear thongs when I was on Sabrina. Here's a little inside. I did not like to do the thong thing, but then my wardrobe people always made me wear a thong, so I'd change my underwear during the day. And I guess a pair ended up in the trash, and someone tried to sell it on eBay. So they called the guy in for an interview, I think, at Paramount, and then arrested him.
Wow.
So that was fun.
We didn't get the reboot scoop, but we got that. That's
and
gold.
I have like my own like personal fandom question about Salem the cat. Because Salem was mechanical, did it ever like malfunction in the middle of a scene?
No, it didn't really malfunction because it was more like remote control. It wasn't really robotic as much as it was just remote control. But the real cat sure did. The real cat would just wander off, jump out of your arms, scratch it, like eat the food on the table because, of course, it's a cat, it's an animal, and there's food on the table,
How
so
cute.
we, whenever we were lucky enough to have the cat voice, who is Nick Bakay, who's now the showrunner of Mom and went on to do huge things, but he was one of our writers. And so when he was on set and he'd watch the live cat do something, our bloopers are all him kind of improvising whatever the cat's doing and pretending that's what Salem, what Salem would say to that.
That's hilarious.
We had some fun with the cat.
Okay, so
yeah, the robotic cat never malfunctioned. That was my favorite co-star because it got its lines right. Was always on its mark. Like everything was very smooth when the animatronic was out. The
perfect co-star. Now, from your cameo on Sabrina to the music video, or her cameo rather, on Sabrina to the music video Drive Me Crazy, you and Britney Spears were peers in the 90s, and you even mentioned that at that time you noticed how sheltered she was. So all these years later, and we've talked a lot about this on the show, advocating on her behalf and mental health and all of that. What's it like for you to see that she's still fighting those same battles?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, we spent a lot of time together back in like 99, 2000. I haven't kept in touch since. So I saw her in Vegas at her show a few years ago, but we had maybe 2 minutes to catch up. And I don't really know what's going on with her personally. Not sure if the Free Britney campaign is necessary. I've seen the documentary and it was heartbreaking. But yeah, at 17 years old, I could see that she was kind of drowning in it all. Just a lot of people around her, a lot to do, a lot on the schedule, and not being able to be a kid, and not being able to be social, and just everything was so timed out, from her workouts to her, endorsement deals to touring to music videos. It was a lot, and she was trying to find ways to break free a little bit, I feel like, but she was also a very responsible, work ethic driven person. So it's hard because I was able to find my fun time. Like I probably work 12, 14 hours a day, but then I had my weekends or I had my late nights where I would go to dance clubs, but I was able to sort of reel it in and be like, I'll go out for 1 hour, dance, and then go home and sort of let it out there. But also my people that I worked with really kept me safe, and they were a lot of fun to be around. So I had peers on set, and we're all still really close, whether it's the crew or the cast, we're all really close. We talk constantly. We hang out constantly. My hair, makeup, wardrobe people are on their way here to visit me in a few weeks because I just moved, and so they're coming to see me. And so we all stay really tight and really close. And I had them on set to kind of keep me sane. And I feel like she never really had that. So it breaks my heart.
Melissa, you're a household name. I mean, everyone knows Melissa Joan Hart, and yet your name doesn't come up when we talk about child actors. You should get props for coming all the way up as a child actor to, you seem like a great person to me right now. So props to you for doing that.
Thank you. That's why I had to write a book. Actually, it's not something I'm really proud of. The book. It tells some of my stories, but it's not very savvy. I didn't get really crafty with it. It's just me telling some stories because so many people were like, "How did you end up normal? Whatever normal is, right?" And how did you, basically that's saying, how did you not get so screwed up in Hollywood? How did you not end up doing drugs and, being in the tabloids and stuff like that? And I just think I'm the oldest of 8 kids, and I felt a real sense of responsibility for them, for my parents, never wanting to disappoint people. Always learning, that if I didn't do my job, someone else would. So I had to have a good work ethic and just, having a real sense of responsibility, I think.
You are the example.
You. Yeah.
You are. Yep. DBL Nation, you cannot miss Melissa's newest holiday movie, Christmas in Tune, later this year on Lifetime. We cannot wait. Plus, even more during its annual It's a Wonderful Lifetime slate. Melissa Joan Hart, thank you so much for chatting with us and just being so transparent. We appreciate you. We'll be right back.